Hey Mustangs, welcome to Press Pass, SMU's Spotlight on Sports. I'm Peter Warner.
And I'm Cody Banks. Let's go. SMU women's basketball has a new face in the locker room, head coach Toyelle Wilson. This comes after the former coach Travis May's contract was not renewed. Wilson is heading to the Hilltop after serving as women's basketball assistant coach at Michigan and up the road at Baylor before that. This new Mustang becomes the first black female head coach at SMU. Outside of Hilltop basketball, the NCAA March Madness tournament recently wrapped up and Texas has a lot to celebrate. SMU TV's Grace Lawrence has more.
Hi guys, welcome back to Full Court Press. Let's get right into the entertaining end of March Madness. Now starting with the women, they had a nail-biting end to their season, starting with the Final Four. Arizona pulled a stunning upset against UConn, who are led by freshman standout Paige Beckers. And for the champions, Stanford beat South Carolina in their Final Four game by 1 point, and then Arizona in the championship by 1 point. This is their first national title in 29 years for the Stanford women's basketball program. The men continued the excitement with the end to their season as well. Baylor beat AAC team Houston 78-59 for the first game of the Final Four. But the matchup between Gonzaga and UCLA contained all the excitement on Saturday. Jalen Suggs of Gonzaga hit a birdie at the buzzer at the end of overtime to end the Cinderella story for 11-seeded UCLA. The championship game was not as exciting, however, as Baylor led the entire game and dominated the undefeated Gonzaga team for their first national title in program history. The trophy returns to Texas for the first time since 1966, when Don Haskins' Texas Western team defeated Kentucky. That's all for today. For SMU TV, I'm Grace Lawrence.
Thanks, Grace. Many of these future college stars will be declaring for the NBA and WNBA draft in the coming weeks.
Well, college basketball stars may have to wait a few months for their chance at playing in the pros. One SMU Mustang has his chance beginning this month. SMU men's golfer Ollie Osborne earned his ticket to the Masters when he placed second at the U.S. Amateur Tournament last year. His father will be caddying for him in Augusta, and the two had the opportunity to play the course a few weeks ago. While continuing his classes at SMU, Osborne has been preparing for the tournament over the last 8 months and has set his goals for this iconic week of golf.
One of my goals is I want to be the low am of the week. I think that as far as physical goal, that's what I want. But I think at the end of the week, I just want to look back and know that I enjoyed the experience and actually took the time to take it in and have fun with my dad on the bag and all that. I don't want to have any regrets of not taking it all in and not having that great experience.
The Mustang will be joined at the Masters by former SMU golfer Bryson DeChambeau and Dallas native Jordan Spieth. One SMU team is chasing their biggest tournament of the season as they begin the last few weeks of play before the conference tournament. The SMU women's tennis team is right on the cusp of an NCAA ticket. They are currently ranked 48 in the country and need to crack the top 40 for a chance at the national tournament. They recently clinched big wins against Tulsa and number 50 ranked TCU and have less than 5 matches left to play until the American Athletic Conference tournament. Former player Tiffany Hollybeck graduated from SMU in the spring but has been able to return to the Hilltop to watch this year's team. Hollybeck shared her thoughts on their success this season so far.
I think just watch them play, like how they are on the court together, like that's something that's like very rare in college tennis, just a group of girls that like genuinely like care for each other and want the best for each other. And that's what makes them so successful. So really proud of them for what they're doing.
Hollybeck currently plays tennis at Midwestern State University in Wichita Falls.
The SMU men's team is also facing ranked opponents this season, and one doubles pair had a big win. Caleb Chakravarty and Tomas Weiss secured a big win over ranked doubles opponent when playing Pepperdine, who was ranked 28th in the country. The Mustangs ended up losing the match overall, but is currently ranked 48th in the country. They will also be competing in their American Athletic Conference tournament at the end of the month after closing out their regular season matches. The SMU equestrian team recently finished up their conference tournament, bringing home the Eastern College Athletic Conference title. This is the third consecutive conference title for the Mustangs after the cancellation of the 2020 season due to the coronavirus. The team was undefeated within the conference this season and has qualified for the NCEA National Championships in Waco later this month.
All right, Mustangs, it's time for your trivia question of the week. Since SMU women's basketball has announced their new head coach, this week's question is, how many conference championships has a women's basketball team won? We'll have the answer coming up later in the show. After the break, find out why the MLB All-Star Game is being moved. Stay with us.
I would not be the person that I am today without them.
Mustang Mavericks is a country western stunt dance organization.
The family, the sense of community, everybody here is really loving and kind.
We have open practices where you can come in and just try it out, and I promise that you will be surprised how much you can learn.
For more information, go to smumustangmavericks@gmail.com.
One Dallas pro athlete has received an exclusive honor, while another just won big. SMU TV's Will Doughton has more.
Hey Mustangs, we've got the Rangers home opener, more Luka Doncic mania, and the return of Jordan Spieth to the winner's circle. Let's get down with Dallas sports. For the second year in a row, ESPN has named Mavericks guard Luka Doncic as the top NBA player under 25 years old. Doncic joins Kevin Durant, Anthony Davis, and Giannis Antetokounmpo as the only players to achieve the #1 ranking in back-to-back years. The third-year star's play has propelled the Mavs to 7 wins in their last 10 games, including 5 straight. The team will look to continue its winning streak in a home matchup with Milwaukee on Thursday. And on the golf course, Dallas native Jordan Spieth is a PGA Tour event champion once again. After a 4-year drought, Spieth took home the title at the Valero Texas Open on Sunday. The 12-time major champion says the victory means a lot after a rough patch of his career. This will give Spieth confidence heading into the Masters tournament, an event he won in 2015. The Texas Rangers fell to the Toronto Blue Jays in their home opener on Monday, but it's the fans, not the players, that are keeping people talking. With Globe Life Field fully open, over 38,000 fans piled into the stands for a sellout crowd. Attendees are required to keep masks on except for when actively eating or drinking at their seats. The Rangers are currently the only MLB team to allow fans in full capacity. For SMU TV, I'm Will Doughton.
Thanks, Will. Now that baseball is fully underway, the MLB is preparing for the All-Star Game. The league recently announced that the All-Star Game and MLB Draft will not be held in Atlanta. In response to the new voting laws in Georgia, the MLB commissioner made the decision, saying it's the best way to demonstrate the league's values as a sport by relocating this year's All-Star Game and Major League Draft. The commissioner went on to say the league supports voting rights for all Americans and opposes restrictions to the ballot box. The All-Star Game will be July 13th, but a new location is yet to be determined.
Time now to check in with SMU TV's Brooke Lee Hahn, who has more on how Olympic athletes are dealing with mental hardships caused by the pandemic.
Hey Mustangs, I'm Brooke Lee Hahn, and welcome to the Ballure to Tokyo. Last time, we touched upon the physical challenges athletes face in dealing with the 1-year postponement of the Olympics. This week, I got to chat with internationally renowned sports psychologist Gail Davis about how athletes are dealing with the mental challenges that come with all the uncertainties that have surrounded their training, competition, and qualifying schedules this past year.
When you get to a competition, when you get there, about 95% of how well you're going to deliver your skill is mental. And mental has paid a huge price in the last year or whatever since all of this has happened. Athletes at the Olympics, they have a routine, and it's very structured. And unknown means something can happen any day. And it's been discouraging, it's been stressful, it's been depressing for athletes. Normally, I'm going to say, when you're training for something like the Olympics, you're in the moment, really focused on what you need to be doing, technically, physically, and mentally.
While these challenges may seem intimidating, Davis has been working on some strategies to help her athletes feel more in control.
So one of the things I've had them do, because their training is really off too, is use visualization. When we visualize, we almost always visualize everything correctly. Sometimes for us to get that much really accurate training on our field, it takes a long time to get that many inputs in your brain correctly. So the visualization has been a great tool.
Although it's easy to focus on the negatives right now, Davis believes that athletes who successfully navigate training and competing during the pandemic will be well equipped to deal with any and all future challenges in both sport and life. Well, that's all for this week. Thanks for watching, and join me again next time on the Boulevard to Tokyo to hear about some new sports that will be making their Olympic debut this summer.
Thanks, Brooke Lee.
Time now for Locker Room Laughs, where we show you some of the funniest videos that happen in sports.
The college basketball season just ended with Baylor taking the crown as men's national champions. But it was referee Jeff Anderson who managed to steal some of the spotlight during the Final Four. Talk about a Cinderella moment, Pete.
I wonder if this was his first Final Four game. I haven't seen a ref that peppy and excited in a major championship in my life. He looks like he is warming up for a youth soccer game with those high knees. He also possibly gave the most aggressive call on the good basket. He was ready to run through a brick wall there. He was definitely as hype as the fans. Next, baseball is back, and so are all the misjudged pop flies, terrible pitches, and other hilarious moments. Luis Roberts gives us an example of that in our next clip.
Yeah, Pete, I feel like I was watching a remake of The Sandlot right here. Scotty Smalls tracking down his first fly ball. Luis is telling his teammates, I got it. But it seemed like the only thing he got out of that was a couple of Advil from the trainers and a headache the next morning. Speaking of classic movie remakes on the diamond, we have one of baseball's biggest names doing his best pirate impression.
This day will be remembered as the day you almost caught Captain Captain Yasiel Puig. He looks so uncoordinated there, kind of like a baby learning how to walk.
That right there looks like the kind of run you would hit when you know your mom's angry. But if he's looking to fill the role as the next Jack Sparrow, Disney might have to consider it.
Oh yeah.
Well, that closes Locker Room Laughs for this week. We'll come at you more with laughs next time.
It's time now for the answer to this week's trivia question, which was, how many times has the SMU women's basketball team won the conference? The answer is 5 times under head coach Rhonda Rompola. Well, that's all we have for you, Mustangs. Be sure to check out our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for the latest on SMU sports.
And as always, be sure to keep up with your Hilltop sports by checking out smudailycampus.com. You can catch Press Pass and other SMU TV shows on Channel 9 on Park City Cable. That does it for this edition of Press Pass. Thanks for watching.
Be sure to tune in April 21st for all the latest happenings in sports, SMU sports too. Have a great weekend, Mustangs, and pony up.
SMU TV and the Division of Journalism want to thank our underwriters, North Park Center in Dallas, Javier's Gourmet Mexicano on Cole Avenue, and Advance ER off West Lovers Lane. We appreciate your support of student media.